Hello, artists. Today we're going to do an art project that involves a rainbow and a multi-leveled painting. So to start, we're going to be using these elements of art: color, line, and shape. The materials you'll need for your art project today are your water-based markers, water and your brush, and a piece of paper towel, your Sharpie markers, and your white marker. So first we're going to make our rainbow, and we're going to be using our markers today to do that. We're going to start with a traditional rainbow, which begins with red, and we're not going to add all of the colors because we're going to be creating them by using water in our brush. So the first color I'm going to use is red. And I want to think about placing my rainbow on my paper. It's the biggest design element in my picture, so I want it to be the biggest thing that I see, and I want it to fill the page. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to use the side of my marker, and I'm using red first, and I'm going to create the arch of the rainbow. And I'll probably go over that line a few times to make it kind of thick. The next color I'm going to use is yellow, and that's going to go right underneath the red. And it's going to copy the arch of the rainbow. The next color I'm using is blue. These are the primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. And once again, I want to make sure that my blue touches the yellow. Okay, now I want to make some clouds near my rainbow, and I can make them any color I like. Just because most clouds are blue doesn't mean all of them have to be blue or white or gray. But I'm going to make this first one a lighter blue down here. And all I have to do is make a scribbly mark to make my cloud. I think on the other side, I'm going to make a green cloud. And I'm going to make some scribbly marks for that too. All right, here comes the fun part. We're going to be using our water to create the colors, the other colors in our rainbow. So you want to wet your brush and then wipe it gently on the paper. If it's too wet, it's going to make your sketchbook wet since you're working on your sketchbook. So between the red and the yellow, I'm going to start using my brush. And that's going to make the marker spread a little bit. And as I go, I'll add a little more water, and you can see it starts to change color a bit and add orange to my rainbow. Nice, I like that. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the yellow and the blue and make green. I think that yellow is a pretty magical color because when you add it to blue, you get green, and when you add it to red, you get orange. That's pretty neat. Okay, I like that. Maybe I'll make my red a little bit bigger, so I need to wash my brush and then add some more water here. See how that spreads? It's kind of fun. All right, now I have my clouds. So once again, I want to tap my brush and wipe it just a little bit, and I'm going to add water to my clouds. I want to make sure that when I'm doing this, I don't put too much water on my paper. Now I can spread my clouds out too. They don't have to just stay with the squiggle lines. They can go farther out, as you can see. Same thing with the green. I'm going to move that around. Okay. So now I have my clouds and my rainbow, and you'll notice that some interesting things are happening in my rainbow. Some of the water is spreading into the yellow and making these kind of cool shapes on my rainbow. I like that. I don't think it's a mistake, so I'm going to keep it that way. And I'm also going to add this green all the way to the edge of my paper. And I'm just using water to do that. Now, I think I'm going to add some other colors in the sky. How about some gray? Because a lot of times rainbows happen when it's raining outside and the clouds are gray. So I'm going to add a little gray marker up here at the top of the picture. And notice that I am just using the side of my marker, not the point of my marker, the side of my marker. All right, I like that. Maybe I'll add a little gray here too. And maybe some here. Now notice that I'm not going to color my entire paper right now because I want to leave some room for the lines and shapes that we're going to make later. So here's my gray. And I'm just adding a little bit of water and spreading that around. Isn't it kind of neat that you can make watercolors from markers? I think that's magical. And then over here too. And I'll add some down here too. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is start adding lines and shapes. And you'll notice in my original picture, I had squiggly lines, dots, straight up and down dots. I had circles with spirals, more lines and squiggly lines. Here I made kind of a net shape with other shapes inside. Here's some more dots with white around some of the dots. That's my white marker. I'm going to use that last. So looking at this, you can see there's a lot of variety in the shapes and lines that I made, but then again, there's some that repeat each other. That's perfectly fine. You might have some shapes and lines that you really like to make, and it's fine to make those over and over again. Also notice that I didn't cover the whole picture with lines and shapes. I left some blank spots, some negative space in my picture. That's a good thing to do. It makes it very interesting. So here's my picture, and I'm going to start making some lines and shapes. It's dried just a little bit. I don't want to put too much marker on top of the wet places. So I'm going to start making my marker marks on the places that are kind of dry right now. And I'm going to use a color I haven't used yet. I think I'm going to use purple. So I'm going to use my purple right now, and I'm going to add some dots to my picture. I like adding dots, and when you're adding the dots, you can cross over your rainbow and your clouds so that they are blending together a little bit, and that's okay. So we're adding more dots. And I really like this purple, so I think I'm going to add some designs on this side too. So I'm going to add some circles over here with my purple. I really like purple. You can add whatever shapes you like. You don't have to copy my designs. And because the paper is still a little bit wet, sometimes the color is going to bleed on the paper. That's fine. That just adds an interesting design to it, I think. Now I'm going to use some orange because I haven't used orange before. And I think I'm going to make some squiggly lines looping up and down over here in this corner. Yep, I like that. And I'm going to add some more on top of my rainbow. And you can color on top of your rainbow. That's perfectly fine. And over here, I think I'm going to add some dashes. Now, I can also use my Sharpie marker on my picture. If you use this Sharpie, the fine point Sharpie, it's going to make a little bit thicker line than you might see there. And I'm going to make a zigzag line across. Maybe do it again. I like to repeat my lines. Human beings like repetition. We like things to happen over and over again. So repetition is a good thing. And up here, I'm going to make some more lines. I like my dashes. Now, when my picture gets drier, I can also add white marker. So this is your white paint marker. This marker you need to shake before you start to use it. And especially the first time that you start to use it, it may not work right away. So you have to be a little patient. But the main thing to remember with these markers is you have to keep the lid on, because if you shake it without the lid on, you're going to get white paint everywhere. And it is paint, so it will stay forever. So I'm going to shake it. I'm going to keep my cap on. And now I'm going to open it up. Now, to get your marker started, sometimes you have to press a couple of times. Oops, but mine's working right now, so I'm just going to keep making some dots with my marker. You can see I like dots a lot, but I think I'll make some squiggle lines too. And maybe I'll make some extra dots on this section. So the last thing, and I'm looking at my picture, and I've got a big white space in the middle, and it's okay, but I think I want to add a little more color. And you can do that, especially if you have used your Sharpie marker, because that's a permanent marker. And I can add some more color here under my rainbow and on top of my Sharpie, and it'll be just fine. And I'm going to add some water on top of that to spread it around like paint. But I still like to see a little bit of the squiggly lines that I made. I like that texture. That's another element of art, texture. Okay, so here's my rainbow picture. When you make your rainbow picture, I want you to make it your way. It doesn't have to be a traditional red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and the last color would be violet or purple rainbow. It doesn't have to be that. In fact, here's one I made earlier. And when I made this rainbow, I was feeling kind of angry. And so artists use their feelings a lot in their art. I made my rainbow reds and oranges and browns. And my background is browns and grays and oranges. I have a lot of squiggles all kind of squiggled on top of each other because that's how I was feeling when I was making this rainbow. So if you're not feeling super happy right now and you want to make your rainbow represent how you're feeling, go do that. That's perfect. That's what art is for. Here's another rainbow I made. This one I was feeling happier, as you can see. I was thinking about beautiful outdoors. And so I made my rainbow with the greens of the trees and the yellow of the sun and the purples of the flowers that I saw. If that's something you want to do with your rainbow, you can do that too. It does not have to be a traditional rainbow. It can be your rainbow. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I look forward to seeing the beautiful art that you make. Bye for now.